reasons why I ran was because I wanted...
This is part 4.
Part 4. Good.
With Sharon Farrell
No
and John
shot?
Tremaine.
No product shot? No, kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, the reason I ran in the beginning was to get, first of all, to stop the merger. I don't want, there was no merger. I'm a law student. I've been a law student.
And you wanted to stop the merger because you wanted SAG. You didn't want AFTRA and SAG to merge together.
Right. What I told them to do, and it was very simple, wouldn't have cost anything, was all AFTRA actors, not the broadcasters, not the anybody else, all the actors, to turn in your AFTRA card and come on over to SAG. We will guarantee no initiation fee for all of you people who have already done this. You will be covered entirely by SAG, and you don't have to go back to AFTRA. No cost. 90 days. It's over. Instead, they dragged it out. It cost $7 million to do it, which all went to lawyers, by the way.
Of course.
And they dragged it, what was it, 10 years altogether from Melissa Gilbert to now? Melissa Gilbert's one thing was 50.47% against and 49 point whatever for it. That much of a difference. Okay, it went on, it just dragged on forever. Finally, Ken Howard...
negotiations of merging these two things together.
On and on and on. And then finally Ken Howard managed to pull this thing off where he got everybody to vote. 165,000 people said it was 86%. No, it wasn't. Because only 20,000 people voted.
I remember voting for that, and I voted against.
Yeah,
I wanted it Screen Actors Guild because I couldn't see what we didn't get anything out of it at all.
Nothing.
What hurt us? What happened? What is happening now? I mean, what are we not getting?
Well, number one, the first thing they wanted was no strike. That our negotiations would all be together. Of course, they're now totally together. They can't walk out. It's because AFTRA walked out of all of our negotiations, negotiated on their own, got all the pilots, which we had, but now suddenly they're all AFTRA.
Well, it's something bigger than what's going on.
Oh yeah, there's money.
I mean,
there's money. We have a pension and health system that was worth $5 billion. It is now worth $2.5 billion.
All I can say is at the Motion Picture Hospital, the jacuzzi is hotter than the shower. And they make the grounds nice, and they keep saying we take care of our own. Well, sometimes they don't take care of us at all.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No.
They don't
I've
at
got one friend up there right now, Alan Garfield.
Oh, I know Alan. I look stuntman with Alan Garfield.
Yeah. Let me tell you, the best thing he ever did. Sorry, the best thing he ever did. But I mean, not discounting.
Where is he?
He's up at the home now.
He's
been there for years.
He's been there for about 10 years.
Yeah, I remember him in Actors Studio, Alan.
Terrible condition. He's in terrible condition.
Well, he always was in kind of bad condition.
No, I mean physically he was always, very rotund, but
and also he breathed heavy, and
he's got something going on mental that's not helping.
Oh,
he's in a wheelchair, but he
Bill Smith is there too.
Oh.
Bill Smith he just went over there a couple weeks ago. He's over there.
My friend...
I can't remember, I worked with him on Hawaii Five-0, the last year of Hawaii Five-0, and Bill didn't I ran into him in one of these autograph shows. He was wonderful because he was really sweet and everything else, but he didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
She doesn't need the mic, you do.
Okay, thank you, John. This is I know. Oh God, I wait till he's direct. He's gonna be a director.
Well, I want people to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't know where it went this morning. I suppose I got choked up when I was meeting her.
That's very possible.
Oh, no.
If I never asked for autographs. Never, but...
I got a car full of pictures and everything because I did an autograph. I did those autograph shows.
How do you enjoy? Do you enjoy doing them?
It's.
Well, I shouldn't ask you that because you're going to do them again.
It's kind of weird because a man will come up with his wife and his kids, and he'll want a bikini picture of me.
Oh my Lord!
And he wants me to say, "Didn't we have a great night last night?"
Oh Lord!
And his wife is standing there, and it's a little uncomfortable,
It is.
sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. But it's nice to see the other actors that are there. It's fun to see. That's where I always see Luna.
Yeah.
I see her all the time there.
There's another one. Luna.
Luna.
We were talking about her earlier, Barbara Luna, another
She's one of those who is
unrecognized talents. I mean, big talent.
Totally unrecognized.
Yeah, but Salome, she didn't make it into movies.
Never.
She just
I think a lot had to do with her height.
Yeah,
and she's so
height.
powerful.
Look at the people that look at all
wait a
these
minute.
tall
But
girls.
she was so powerful on stage with other actors. She just blows people away. Men were intimidated by her talent. I really believe that.
I never saw her.
If you see her work, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I do.
I will tell you that.
Well, go see her in the movie Seconds, the one that she did with.
Second, well, I can get that on Netflix probably.
Yes.
Right? I can order that.
Yes,
Seconds.
and also she did one. When they did Elma Gantry, there was a film she did about
it was called Angel Baby.
Angel Baby.
Angel Baby.
And the studios really destroyed that because they wanted to promote Elma Gantry.
Right.
And Salome starred in that.
Oh,
and it's a brilliant movie.
And believe it or not, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
And the day that I got here for A Moon for the Misbegotten, that was on my television too. In my motel room. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, this means something. Doesn't mean nothing. But there it was. There she was, and I was like, she's going to be the biggest, and I'm going to be on the stage with her. This is going to be great.
That is kind of serendipity when that happens.
Oh yeah.
When you ask her, she did a one-woman show in San Francisco about I forgot the name of the poet, but the review was this.
How did she get all the? She was like must have been pretty good at business and going out there and getting roles and getting somebody to back her.
Always working.
Always, but she does so much theater. She's like when you were saying how much you love to work. She does it for no money. This and that. She just works. When you ask her, how do you do that, Salome? She said, I just do the work. Yeah. And I used to name my show that all the time. The work. That's what I like to talk about.
Keep working.
But we were talking about a review she did, and the review in San Francisco said, if you want to know what acting is all about, go see Salome Jens.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to get those movies and look at her.
Oh, no, she's great.
I always loved her name. I just loved that name.
Salome.
And that's her real name, too.
It is her real name.
Yes.
It'd have to be real.
Yeah.
You said you retired.
Yeah, I did. I retired for 10 years, actually 12. I went to Fiji and I built a house there on an island and had to bring sand from another island to that. I mean, it's so hard. Yeah. It's so difficult. And you gotta go from, islands. It's a bunch of islands, and to get from one island, it's like 221 islands or some number. I don't know if I've got the number right. There's just so many islands, and it takes you a day to get by ship to get to another island sometimes.
There's 17,000 islands in the archipelagos there.
It's just so. But living on an island and the beach, I mean, how much of it can you take? It's like how much ice cream can you eat?
I agree.
Like you. And then I ended up. I was with this business manager, lover, agent, person that I was with for like 30 years, and this guy all of a sudden he dyes his hair blonde. I mean, like white blonde, and he purchases 2 Indian girls who are gorgeous. And it's like, I find out all this stuff, and he takes me out. We go on a jet ski, because we're like friends by this time. We've been together for so long, we're just more or less friends. We go out on this jet ski, and the jet ski capsizes, and he swims away and leaves me in the deep water. He leaves me there in deep water.
Now there's a guy.
For 5 hours I was out there, and it started to rain.
Oh, no.
And
oh, my God.
In the middle of the whole thing, and I am waving, because there was a little bit of daylight before it got dark.
Sure.
And I am waving, and I'm in deep water, and the current, I accidentally dropped my sunscreen, and it goes like this. That's the current.
That's, oh my Lord.
It was like really going fast. Oh, yeah. And he said, his leg was bleeding. I said, you're going to be eaten by a shark or something. And I was arguing with him, don't go. In movies, the ship is always there and the people are gone. I'm gonna stay, and I was hanging on to the side of the jet ski. But the jet ski, it was like this. And what I did is I climbed up on top, and I found there was a rope that was like swimming around, and I tied myself to the jet ski with my leg. Because every once in a while, I'm sitting here like this, balancing like this. But every once in a while, I'd get so cold, I'd slip into the hot water because the water is so warm there,
Sure.
And it was like, it just went on and on and on, and I was so mad. And the sunset came, and it was just a crappy sunset. And I was so pissed off at God. I thought, if this is the last few minutes I'm going to have on planet Earth, you could at least give me a nice sunset. I was just so mad. I was so angry.
Oh,
I was so mad.
How
and then
did
in the
you
middle
get rescued?
Well, I have to tell you this one.
Oh, no, okay.
In the middle, there was a thing as big as the ceiling. It circled me. And it was all iridescent pink and purple and green. It was just gorgeous.
My God.
And it circled me.
It was a monster.
I don't know what it was. Anyway, it calmed me down because I felt really safe and everything was just fine. And I saw something out in the distance. It was like black by this time.
But it was
really
underwater,
dark.
right?
Yeah, underwater. And it went around my jet ski.
And you're on top of
And I'm like this. And
and
it was so gorgeous, and it was like, it was just wonderful. It was like, it was some, I don't know what it was.
It wasn't a threat to you at all?
No, I got very calm. It was like,
I
it
have
was
to
like,
hand them
it
to
was like, a hit of heroin or something. It was great. It was like
How do you
really
know a
wonderful.
hit of heroin?
Well, how do you think, my dear? There isn't anything I
Sharon
haven't done.
Farrell tells the truth. This is
haven't,
amazing. Hey, listen,
I'm
I
so
gotta
old, I don't care.
No. Old.
I mean,
All right.
well, you know what I mean. It's like you get to a point where
I
I'm
know,
tired
I know.
about
But you
lying
see-
and
no,
about
no.
my age and lying
But
about,
this
I'm a
is-
virgin.
I want you to-
I'm tired of all of that. Oh, I've never been with a man. Oh, you're the first one that's ever done that to me. I'm tired of all that.
Well,
I'm
I
just
would
tired
say,
of
I
it.
just want you to know that as much as of an admirer as I am of yours, I'm too young for you because I'm 70. Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm 2 years older than you. Gosh, let's see. When I was in the 5th grade, you were like
You're
a
trying to get a
baby.
date with her.
You
and
just
she-
went out of camera.
I ran out of camera.
No, you're out of
Oh,
camera. You keep moving. No, so sit back.
Right there. Okay, right here. Right here.
Yeah, I mean, you.
Okay. I keep doing. I thought you were waving flies away or something. So what?
My kind of director.
This is the guy. Yeah, lets it happen. So, gee.
A boat ran into me, Fijians have the most incredible eyesight. And there was a ship that it was the 29th of March. It was Good Friday. And the forecast was bad, and the captain of the boat said that he was given permission not to take any of the guests out from the Hilton.
Right.
From the Hilton.
There's a Hilton in.
Yeah, I think it's it's one of those big hotels. I can't remember.
It's Bora Bora, right?
No. This is I'm in
sorry.
Fiji and Danarau and.
I have no idea what the name.
Yeah, all these names.
Tahiti, I got familiar.
You got Tahiti down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Tahiti seems. I don't know. They're both. I don't know whether that's more civilized or not. Anyway, the captain decided I'm going to take these people. There were 2 people that wanted to go out on the dinner cruise. He said I'm going to take them, and and they ran into me on this great big huge ship as big as this house. Kind of brushed aside me, knocked me out, and then Fijian dove down and got me out of the water, and they dragged the jet ski back.
And they rescued you.
Yeah, they rescued me. And then my partner says, "Oh, I sent them out there." I got back, and he said, "Oh, I sent them out there to get you." So
It was very brave of him.
I know he was.
I have to hand that
He's
one to
a real man.
Yeah, really. A mensch, no doubt about it. There was the guy.
I was afraid when I got back here because he was like, he wanted money, he wanted more money. I was already giving him a couple $1,000 a month. He wanted more money from me, and it was like, I don't know. I don't know. Life can be crazy, you know.
This reminds me of Veronica Lake and her husband Andre de Toth, who was probably one of the biggest. He was actually very talented, made a couple of really good movies. But she was keeping him alive for like 10 years. And they had a couple of kids together, so they're around somewhere. You know, Veronica's been dead. She died when she was 52.
Wow, that's...
Well, she opted out of Hollywood. I mean, all they were doing, every time she walked around, they were grabbing her.
Right.
You know, and she said, that's enough. Thank you very much. This is what I have to do for publicity. Forget it. And she just bombed out. She said, forget it, I'm going back east. She went back east and she started doing television in Baltimore.
Wow.
You know, and then she became a hostess in a sleazy hotel, which gave her some really bad publicity. But she was fun. She wasn't doing anything weird. She was with a guy. She was having a good time, and you know, the only thing that she was happy about was that they're there and I'm here. You know, they're not messing with me.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the same thing.
Well, also too that when you were talking about the supporting, there's a play going on right now called Frank and Ava at the 3 clubs over there in Santa Monica.
Frank and Ava, about Ava Gardner and Frank Sinatra.
And it goes when she was supporting him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
he was making no money at all. The funny thing about that.
Yeah, before that.
The funny thing about him was that he was giving his money to the mafia. That's the reason why he was
that's
so
not
broke.
True. That's not true.
Why does he say that he was?
He was never giving his money to the mafia.
I think you're taking it, maybe.
No.
Taking it, yeah.
I don't know who told you that.
I always wanted to meet some of these mafia people. I would have done something.
Yeah.
I want to be a star. You know, it's like
he did a lot of
where are they?
favors.
I hear about it. I never have met any of them.
He did a lot of favors for the mob and this and that because they enjoyed his singing and this and that. They were a fan of Frank's.
Oh, yeah.
But no, you
nightclub
got to
thing,
trust me. When,
well, Steve Stevens, he was hanging out with Mickey Cohen.
Mickey Cohen was a real wise guy up here.
Well, Steve Stevens, my agent, when he was young, he was like dating Annette Funicello and all this kind of stuff. And he started like doing deliveries, got involved a little bit. And Ricky Nelson and the Nelsons, they like blackballed him.
Yeah.
So he didn't work.
Because he was, he was a wannabe wise guy.
Yeah, he was.
He says
was
that. And there's a lot of them out here.
He wrote a book about it, because he was like a kid and he was impressed with,
there's a lot of these wannabes out here.
He had no money. I mean, the kid had no money. He couldn't, he didn't have enough money for gas to get places. And Mickey Cohen would, invite him to these great places.
He was a good guy, Mickey Cohen. He liked you.
He was a nice guy.
He liked you.
I had the fortune of meeting him once. He was all cripped up. He was practically dead. But he was doing this thing on a radio station, and I was there too. And I thought, oh, okay, what the heck? I was promoting a film, so it was like, I was going on to this thing, and I was sitting with B. Richards. If you remember B. Richards from 100 years ago, and right between us was Cohen. I had no idea who he was, and I said, "Hi, I'm John Tremaine." He says, "I'm Mickey Cohen," and I'm like, haven't I heard that name before?
That name sounds very familiar.
And I was like, and he pulls out his card and he says, "Here, kid."
He gave you a card?
I wish to God I'd saved that.
Oh, yeah.
He had his office over there on Sunset, by where that bookstore is.
Yeah.
He had his office. I go over there with Michael J. Pollard, who's a good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah, Michael J.
I love the guy.
Is he still living in the Little Brea apartments?
Yes, he still lives there. I got to give him a call. He'll come down and do the show. Him and I go way back. But I always ask him every time I see him.
He doesn't drive,
No, I know. He takes the bus everywhere.
He's so funny.
Him and I take the bus too.
The bus everywhere.
I drive, but I take the bus everywhere.
Well, I'll tell you something. In Topanga, you have to drive because there's no buses that come through there. But I lived in Venice for a little while, and it's fun to take the bus. You don't have to. It's fun to see all those people. It's really fun.
You can't do it in Hollywood.
It's expensive, though. It's expensive.
It is.
It's
almost as expensive as running a car.
Yeah, it really is. It's expensive. I don't know how anybody lives here. That's why I'm thinking, gosh, where am I going to go next?
New York.
If I can't work, if I can't make
New York,
money,
you would work all the time.
I almost went back to New York. I almost went back there because I got here, and I thought, well, and I rented a car. I rented a Honda Fit, and I thought I'll give it 3 years, and I'm gonna go someplace else, and I didn't know where. And I was thinking about going to New York. I was thinking about going back to New York. But I don't know, I just come from Fiji, and I was like so acclimated. I was freezing here. I was just freezing here, and it takes you a while to kind of get used to that. New York is like tough. You have to walk, and you have to carry everything, and you can't throw it in your car.
No.
And it's, you know, I thought, oh, and my times in New York, I struggled in New York. And I worked as I sold cigarettes up in this place on the east side at night so I could make rounds during the day. I had part-time jobs and, you know, it's like, and then when I finally got the movie with Elaine Stritch and Steve Hill, then I popped out and then I started working. But then they called me off here to Hollywood, you know.
Stephen Hill.
Yeah.
Wow, I've always loved Stephen Hill.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that was like always, he was always just right.
He was the original on Mission Impossible.
Yeah. And I saw him play.
He was the first edgy guy.
Yeah.
He was edgy. He was strange and weird.
It's so funny, the stuff that went on in New York that was like actually actors' colony. You know, like we had the Zone, which was known, you know, the Broadway production area, where everybody was there because that's where it was happening.
Right.
But nobody knew what anybody else was doing until it opened. And it's like Al appeared in 2 plays. I saw both of them.
Who are you speaking of, Al Pacino?
Al Pacino, yeah. And we had a bunch of mutual friends. Lazaro Perez, for instance, I don't know if you knew him or not. Laz was one of the truly unknown actors of the world. This guy was just great, and nobody ever picked up on him, you know. But one day I'm sitting in Jimmy Ray's, and I said, "Where's Pacino?" And they said, "I don't know." And like 3 weeks later, he comes back in. I said, "Where have you been, Al? What's going on?" "Oh, I was working." So every time he works, he disappears. He doesn't hang out with anybody and say, "Hi, I'm working," you know.
Well, you can't. You're memorizing lines and you're getting into the character. Right. You don't play around when you're working.
No. He was doing Serpico.
I never could.
And he had grown a full beard, and we did not know it.
Oh, when he was doing Serpico.
Yeah. And we had no idea. When he came back, he got rid of it. You know.
Yeah.
So it was like you were private on one side, and you were public on another side.
Yeah.
You know, and Jimmy Ray's was like such a great place because you could tell when somebody's working when they weren't there. You know,
or if they were buying.
Oh yeah.
If they paid their tab.
If they picked up the bill, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or they'd say, "Let's go down to Joe Allen's." And
Yeah. But
yeah, it's true.
oh, you know, you retired. I was forced out for almost 30 years. I was blacklisted.
Why?
Because I wouldn't cooperate.
With whom? With Screen Actors Guild now, right? You're heading for that again, right?
No.
Because these people are bigger than we are. You know,
no,
we're lucky to even be here and let them. Then they're letting us act.
Well,
you know, we're going to get squashed if you go up against those people.
Oh yeah, very definitely.
I mean, I'm afraid of all of those politicians everywhere. I really am.
These guys were casting directors.
They can do what they want, you know.
And agents, who were. I don't want to use the word because I don't want to seem like I'm discriminating against them, because I'm not. They were asking for sexual favors.
Oh.
And there were women in there as well.
Oh gosh, you know that we've been harassed.
Sure.
We've men and women in our business have been harassed, and the men probably just as much.
Yes.
I mean, LaMotta, you know, it's like, good Lord.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff that goes on.
And
we've been sexually
I refused to cooperate for a long time, and believe me, I remember every one of the guys that I went up against, and every one of the women who said, you know, not until you come across.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to be honest. That never happened to me. Maybe I don't have that type of pretty face.
Well, what you see
they're not looking
of me right now, you can go on eBay, and you will see a picture. You put in my name, John Tremaine, with an E on the end, and you will see 2 pictures of me. One is 1971, the other one is 1969. When I was.
No, you're a good-looking guy. They say.
Well, I look like. I was.
Thanks a lot.
I was known then as a gay ideal.
The gay ideal. Oh, the guy. Oh my
and
God.
And they said, if you don't come across, then we will destroy you.
Really? They said this to you?
They said it straight away to me. And they will deny it, of course, any day.
Well, of course they will.
Never do something like that.
My son walked away from it because my son was he graduated from high school with $50,000 in the bank because listen, what can I do? I can't teach him anything except, and I found out he could act. He could act.
Right.
He just had an incredible instrument. And it's so fun. It's so fun. Why not? Why not make a little money? And it's like going to an English class or something. You memorize something, you get up in front of the class, and you do a thing. Sure. Meanwhile, he gets paid money. Sure. So he did a bunch of commercials. He was on General Hospital, and I played stage mom, And it got to a point where it's like, they're coming after him. Yeah. They're coming after him.
Yeah. Men and women.
They're men and women. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
And this is like he was the 1970s, this is 70. This is probably in the 80s, and it's like, good Lord, always, with the writers even, the big producers. I remember sitting in an office and the producer, he's sitting over there, and I'm sitting with my guy who's a writer and director, and this guy sends a thing, he says, I'm gay. He's got this printed on it, and he wants him. It's like, I'll tell you something. The sexual harassment in this town doesn't, at my age, I'll go in somewhere and somebody will grab me.
Yep.
I'm sorry. It's like, it doesn't stop.
Sharon,
it just
there's
doesn't
a good
stop.
reason.
Well, I can handle it better. I can handle it better now, but it's like really hard.
Sharon Farrell. That's all I wanted to do.
I'll tell you, it just doesn't stop. And
no, it doesn't.
I can see why you.
Well, thank you. That's nice.
You could not do that because
I looked like a cross between Clint Eastwood and Paul McCartney at the time, and I did not know what they were talking about. I had come out of the South. I was completely
you were like
innocent.
Yeah, I'm from Iowa.
And then they got this list of and every one of them said the same thing to me. Everyone, unless you cooperate, you will be destroyed. Now, you might as well get that. You'll have no career. So all you got to do is cooperate. And that's the code word. Okay.
Let him give you a blowjob.
Oh yeah, sure. I couldn't think of anything more nauseating.
Show me your legs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I want to see your breasts. One
guy actually had a page inserted in a play. So when I went on to did the audition, he said, "I want you to go up and do 5 minutes take off all your clothes and do 5 minutes of calisthenics." And I said, "Where is that in the play?" He actually opened the play, and he had a page inserted.
Really?
Yes. It was loose.
Oh, God.
So you could see it didn't have the 3 holes in it.
Oh.
And I looked at it, and I said, "You can't be serious.
It's so hard.
Well, I'm not going to do this." And he says, "Well, you know how the game is played." And, of course, that's how everybody hears it. You know how the game is played.
Oh.
So then I ran up against 2 other things.
I'll tell you, I'm so jealous of people who are AC/DC and get by and can do anything.
They can do things.
Yeah,
like
I'm so jealous when I see a girl just take off all her clothes and run across the set. Beverly D'Angelo we did a nude scene in the shower, and Beverly D'Angelo was so comfortable with her body, and Eric Roberts, and I just thought, oh, you are just, and she was. She didn't think a thing about it, but it's like. I'm jealous of those people, but if you're from the South and I'm from Iowa, we're just not built that way.
Well, see, even with that, I mean, quite honestly, if somebody said it to me today, a really, hot-looking CD comes up and says, "Okay, John, here we go, it's just you and me," the answer is no. I'm not going to do something for work. I'm not a whore.
No, well, you shouldn't be.
Well, if he was cute, I'd be a whore.
Thanks,
I run into men more. I don't run into women. I don't run into well, I ran Jane Fonda, but
Jane.
Well, Jane, I'm glad you went like that because you know what? We got about a few seconds, so maybe we'll wind up doing part 5. I can't believe.